the Big Ten championship. We're going to win it as a team. They can throw out all those great backs and great quarterbacks and great defensive players throughout the country and in this conference. But there's going to be one team that's going to play solely as a team. No man is more important than the team. No coach is more important than the team. The team, the team, the team.
Okay, and with that 1986 speech, um, actually 1985 speech, excuse me. Um, I don't think anything else could be said more about this 19 Team 144. Welcome to another edition of Wolverine Chat. I am your host, Tim Raymond, and today we're just going to reminisce. We're just going to, I mean, we'll talk some stats, we'll talk about the game, but how special was this season? If this is going to be a 30-30 someday, this is going to be a movie. This is not possible what happened. This is too good. Okay, this is too scripted. I mean, it's just like Hollywood could not ask for a better picture. um I mean, all season long, we thought, all I heard was Michigan, do or die, or um natty or bust. And did I think we were going to win it? I thought we would. I really did. But I certainly didn't think it was a guarantee. I didn't think that we had it, wrapped up, like it was. But this team just dominated every step of the way. Um, I'll tell you what, the game that I mean, yes, okay, let's backtrack. Ohio State, yes, we had that great interception. In fact, the defense has seemed to save the day all year long. That great interception, um, Michael Barrett. Um, the uh, the Alabama game, we stopped them on that last play. But I mean, they were close games, but we really did dominate. The Alabama game, it should have been close. I mean, we should have won that one by, oh, at least two scores. Um, but the fact is, this is one heck of a team. They were in control of every single game. What I was going to say is the game that worried me more, almost as much as anything, was the Maryland game. I mean, they just at the end, it wasn't looking great. But can you imagine if they lost that game and that was their only loss? So, but I mean, and before I go into it, let's talk a little bit about the GOAT. I got to say something before we go further about Nick Saban. Was it 7 championships, six, one at LSU, six at Bama? I 15 years of the 17 years, Alabama under his tutelage was rated number one at some point in the season. Again, I'm feeling a little bit better, but I apologize for sniffling. I'm still recovering, but I'm getting better as I cough. But I don't think Michigan beat them down. There's nothing like that. I think, honestly, I think he's 73. He just had enough. He's tired. He wants to spend time with the kids and grandkids. And B, I think he's just tired of fighting every year for college football, in my opinion. It's just not fun when you have to recruit your own players every year, and they can leave and go anytime you want, and the NIL, all that. I mean, he managed it pretty well, and but a lot of people think he's paying and all that. I'm not talking about any of that, but the guy's a good guy. He's a class guy, and I give him his props. Okay, they uh, they recruited. I mean, look at their recruiting, top 10 classes, a number one class, I think 10 times. It's unheard of. But it also tells you that what Michigan is doing in a little different way, and it's exciting. So this isn't a Nick Saban, you know, uh, podcast. I just want to give my props to him and congratulate him on an incredible career. And I think he um, is at a stage by himself. Under that, you can go with Jimmy and a lot of the other guys, uh, Kurt Smart. But thanks for everything you've done, Coach. So Michigan goes out. Uh, 443 total yards, 301 yards for Washington. Um, passing yards 140, but rushing yards is where it's all about. This all the other yards, yeah, lottie lottie. Michigan had 303 yards. 303 yards. Washington had 46. 46 yards. Um, that's almost 250 whatever yards more. That's just someone tells me we outrush them 303 to 46. I know the game. I know the game won. Um, no fumbles lost. They had two interceptions. And I'll tell you what, Will Johnson had that great interception because we needed, I was just talking about it at halftime. I mean, we were okay, but we were losing the momentum. We needed a momentum getter. And was that the first play? Uh, he overthrows and or underthrows, and my boy Will Johnson comes up with that big interception. It looked like he had dropped it at first, but I could tell that he caught. He got his hands underneath it. That was great. And then, oh, Mickey, oh, how great you can be. Mickey Sanders still. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey, what an interception. What a way to put the game to rest. I wish he would have gone all the way. It would have been so great. But he went 90 yards all the way to the 5 yard line. And then, you know what? It was almost par for the course. You um, give it to Blake and let him bowl his way in for another touchdown to just put a icing on the cake. That was just so great. That was just so exciting. Um, the funny thing is Washington had more plays, a little more time of possession, but it's incredible. Now, and I, some of you Michigan fans have got to chill out. I was reading some of these comments at halftime of that game. They were literally ready to give up. I mean, just saying terrible things about these things. And it's just, I'm telling you, win or lose, this team did something incredible. So, and I said that in my podcast before that if they were to lose, it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it would have been okay. And of course, we didn't, as I told you in the podcast. Let me read you some statistics. I'm going to go through all 9 of these, and I just want you to wrap your minds around what I'm saying here. I have it on the phone, but I can't read it, so I have to read it from my notes. So it's a little terrible. First, Michigan, um, top 5, 3 years in a row. First time a Michigan team has done that since 1936. They have been in the top 5 3 years in a row. Since CFP came into started happening, Michigan has won the first team to win 5 of its last 6 games over top 15 games. So the last 5 of 16 games, I think Iowa was 15, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, Alabama. First team since to be ahead of every game since 2000 halftime since 2001. So never trailed in a game at half. Never trailed. Had 5 total. Listen to this: 5 turnovers all season. 15 games, 5 turnovers. And if you remember, and I was there, I was in the press box with my great friend Joe Conrad. They had 3 interceptions. JJ had 3 interceptions that day. You take that game away, or give them 1. Just think about. But even with it, 5. That's unheard of. Just unheard of. 45 penalties. This is another one that blows my mind. 45 penalties all season long. 45 penalties. That's 3 penalties a game. That's just crazy. That's well coached. That's discipline. That's having your players ready. That is amazing. Although against Alabama, I think they might have been a little nervous, but still had a couple of those fumbles, but not penalties. Number 6, a first team to have 2 players both over 100 yards course, Donovan and Blake the Great, over 100 yards in the championship game. And their 303 yards rushing was the most in BCS championship, all BCS championship games. 303. I still can't fathom that. Michigan allowed 10.4 points per game this season. It was their best defensive effort since 1997 when they allowed just 9.5. So 97, 07, 17, what's that, 20, 24, 25, 27, 27 years. The lowest defensive output. Um, Michigan allowed just 25 points on every team under 25 points this whole season. And that was the lowest since Minnesota did it 120 years ago. Think about that. 120 years that a team has allowed every team under 25 yards in every game. Um, and in the last 3 years, they lost one Big Ten game. You talk about the Big Ten championship, excluding the playoffs, they're 38-1, and we know who that one loss was to. And old Aiden got a sack and a scoop and score that they took away. That was just taken away from us. But I'm not gonna make excuses. But that was the day. What's his name? For MSU ran off with 5 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker. He was dynamite. But that was our only loss, and we outplayed them. Clearly outplayed them. But they won. So my point is, one Big Ten loss in 3 years. Um, do you know how special this is? Do you have an idea how special? And if you're a Lions fan, it's still happening. If you're a football fan in Detroit, Michigan, just enjoy it, people. Just this. I know my fiance, who this is her first year for football, probably thinks that I'm overdoing it and I'm going crazy. But I told her the other day, I said this is not going to happen every year. I wish it would. I mean, let's face it, but we're not going to win a national championship every year. We're not going to, the Lions aren't going to be like this every year. And I hopefully, they'll be better. But this is special. This is I just can't take my eyes off her. I owe her a big thank you for putting up with me this whole season. She's really enjoyed it, and we've had fun watching it together, and that meant so much to me when I saw her at the Alabama game, just jumping up and down, her eyes lit up. That was as exciting to me as, well, almost as exciting to me as the Michigan winning the game. To share it with somebody that you love so much, it just means so much. But yeah, it's been crazy, and I just don't know what to say. All I can tell you is my dad was in heaven that day, Monday, both Mondays, and he just reached down and high fived me. His last words: "We were in the parking lot. I was getting ready for a basketball game. I was on the varsity, and he was there as JV was playing. He came to tell me that he could not go to the game. He drove there. He had something very important, unfortunately, and he went to so many games. But that was the day Bo Schembechler was deciding to stay at Michigan or to go to Texas A&M, I believe it was. And we thought Bo was going. And I start walking away, and he beeps his horn and kind of does this to me. I go over, and he gets out of the car, and he says, "Did you hear Bo Schembechler is staying at Michigan?" And I'm like, "Dad, that's great. That's awesome." And the funny thing was, it was 40 years to the day um, that Jim Harbaugh was deciding to stay or go to Michigan. 40 years to the minute almost. And that happened last year. That was crazy, crazy. Or 2 years ago. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But he high fived me, hugged me, and he said he loved me. So he said, "Go blue." He said, "I love you, son." And then he said, "Go blue." And that was it. A couple minutes later, Lord took him home, had a massive heart attack, and he was with his Savior. And we've had nothing since. I remember listening to the Michigan Indiana game with him out in front of Cobo Hall, where he had a big, large Sunday school convention that he led. And when Anthony Carter got that touchdown, we jumped up and down. People must have thought we were nuts. I remember hugging my dad and just screaming when they won. And Monday, that same thing happened. The same thing happened. It's just he wasn't physically here, but he was here. He was here. And we high fived and we had a great night with Trina, my fiance, her son, and we just all enjoyed it together. And it's special. This is what sports is. It's not about statistics. It's not about who did this or who hits harder. Those things are all part of it. But it's about father, son, mother, daughter, mother, son, name it. It's about family. It's about remembering where you were. I remember in 1977 where I was when Michigan beat Indiana. I remember exactly where I was. It marks time. And I will always remember this championship. And I will remember the Alabama game, watching it with Trina in the Celebration Theater and just losing my mind when they stopped them. It was that reminded me of the 1980 Miracle on Ice when the U.S. beat Russia or the Soviet Union. We thought we had it, didn't we? It was like, okay, most of you guys are probably too young, but for those of you who've studied it or or watched it, old enough like me, you just forgot that it was over. But they still had to beat Finland, and because if they don't beat Finland, like the Soviet game really doesn't mean anything. Well, they beat Finland, if you remember, and Michigan beat Washington. So, um, how special. And then in the same week, 2 weeks ago, the Lions clinched. And I know it's not a Lion um, network, but there's a lot of Lion fans here. And now they're playing Sunday night. So I'm going through the same thing again. I told Trina that I'm just physically exhausted. I mean, just exhausted. I just need to take a couple days off, and I tried to the last couple days. But I'll tell you what, when Sunday comes, and the Lions are playing, I'm going to be hyped once again um, to go beat LA, and they better beat LA. And I love Matt Stafford, and I give him all the credit. But man, that game starts. I want him to fall on his face. I want the Lions to destroy him. So go Lions! Just a little thing to tell you. Um, we're going to the champ or the parade tomorrow. Trina and I are, and then we're going to go to the championship celebration at Chrysler Center. And we hope the weather is drivable and it's not too bad. We got a hotel there, so that's going to be fun. I might do a little quick live podcast. I don't know. We'll see, but that's going to be fun. And next year, you know what? It just seems like this is the end, doesn't it? Because next year's going to be so different. 12-man playoff. We got USC, UCLA, um, Washington, Oregon. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be the same. Now, it'll be fun. And, I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. And I'm going to tell you, I'm changing my mind. I really thought Jimmy was going to the NFL. Um, and he might. And I wouldn't be mad. I would understand it all. But I think he might stay. Something about me tells me that he just might stay, and we'll see. I hope JJ stays. He's a good quarterback. He's a great Michigan quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback for the NFL yet. He needs another year. Um, I just think he will do himself so much good if he stays. But if he goes, so be it. He's going on top of the world. What I just heard today, Junior Colson has gone. Um, he's leaving. Who else did I hear is leaving? I don't know. A couple of their linebackers are gone, junior linebackers. So, but we got a couple good linebackers coming in, a couple from the transfer portal, and a couple young guys. Oh, Darius Clemens kind of surprised me. Number 0, he left. I think he had he was that 6'4" guy. Just never got a lot of plays in this year. A little bit at crunch time. I think he could have kind of filled in um, for Michigan next year, um, and I think he could have been pretty good. But he's gone. So we'll see. I wish him all luck. I do. Zach Zinter is going, of course. He had a really nice post on Twitter or whatever it is called now. So anyway, guys, I'll do a couple more. We'll do some after Jimmy announces and all that. Wouldn't it be great if he announced at the celebration tonight? And did you watch when they landed at the airport? The whole crowd chanting. JJ wanted to talk. The crowd would not let him talk. It was one more year. One more year. It was magical. And can you imagine what would happen if Jim announced he was staying at Michigan one more year, another year? If he's staying one more year, I think he's staying there for a lengthy period of time. I think he'll retire there. But that's what I was saying. I'll have some texts throughout the year. I usually do a few basketball texts, but it doesn't even Michigan's program right now. It's got to figure this out. They are in some trouble. They got to get this together. I don't know if we need to get a new coach. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on with that program. Last year they were a good team, but just could not win the close games. If they had won just one close game, they would have been in the tournament. They were capable of beating anybody, but they just could not finish them off. And it's kind of that way this year. They just continue to lose the close games. And it just gets old, doesn't it? It just gets old. Jawan, I think he's a good guy. He can recruit, but his X's and O's, I just don't know. It's just not happening. So anyway, so maybe I'll throw in a podcast about that. I usually have free tickets for basketball, and I might give away some free tickets. But there's just not a lot of excitement for Michigan basketball this year. But I'll do some throughout the year, and we'll keep busy and get ready for that 2024 season. Get excited to have season tickets again for the first year with Trina, and go to these magical games. Guys, again, I say this every week, but just go out and do something kind for somebody. Just do something special. Help somebody's day be just that much better. Okay. God loves you guys. And I love the Lord. My faith is important to me. And this podcast is important to me. I hope to grow it. I hope this becomes something that I can make a living on. But hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and the best. Hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the champions of the West. Please subscribe on YouTube. Make a comment. It means so much to me. We're going to have some big prize giveaways here in 2024, some autographs that I've got. And I love you guys. God bless. See you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.